Maybe you have heard about Scrum from your colleagues,
Check this out. Take a look at this.
but it didn't make it any clearer.
Huh?
Don't worry, because in this video, we will discuss what Scrum is, break down its key elements such as roles, artifacts, and events. We will also talk about benefits it brings to the teams, and we'll do it quickly while coffee is brewing. Scrum is a framework for product development. Its theory is based on three pillars. Transparency. The process and outcome of the work should be visible for both those performing it and those receiving it. Inspection. The work and its outcomes should be regularly and thoroughly analyzed to identify the areas of improvement. Adaptation. Inspection without changes is pointless. So, once we understand what needs improvement, we must implement those changes. As we continue to explore Scrum, we will see the influence of these principles through the entire framework. The main elements of the Scrum are the team, artifacts, and events. Let's start with the team. In the Scrum team, there are three key roles: Product Owner, Scrum Master, and Developers. The Product Owner is responsible for creating, managing the list of improvements known as product backlog, prioritizing tasks, and ensuring the maximum value of the product. The Scrum Master helps the team follow Scrum principles, remove obstacles, and improve work progress. Developers, it's a group of specialists who work on tasks to create the product. And usually, the Scrum team consists of no more than 10 people to stay as transparent as possible, but it has all necessary resources and skills to complete its tasks. Scrum also has three artifacts: Product Backlog, Sprint Backlog, Increment, and 5 events: Sprint, Sprint Planning, Daily Scrum, Sprint Review, and Sprint Retrospective. Next, we will go through the entire process and get to know them in more detail. Let's start our journey by defining what product is. A product is nothing more than just a vehicle to deliver a value, which has clear boundaries, stakeholders, and defined consumers. A product can be a service, a physical product, or even something more abstract. For example, when people buy a car, they are not just buying a car. They are buying a product that, for instance, allows them to take all their friends out for a picnic on a warm summer day. So the car is just a vehicle to deliver a value. Each product has its own product goal, which is the future state where the product delivers maximum value. To reach this future state, we need a product backlog. The product backlog is a container or a list of all features, improvements, and fixes needed to achieve the product goal. A product backlog consists of product backlog items. A product backlog item is a single unit that describes one feature or one improvement. An interesting point: when tasks enter the product backlog, they can be different sizes and require a varying amount of development time. In Scrum, it's common to take tasks that can be completed in one iteration called sprint. Typically, a sprint lasts from 1 to 4 weeks. To break down tasks into manageable pieces, the product owner conducts product backlog refinement. This event involves clarifying and decomposing tasks. Great! We have defined the product goal, the ideal future of the product we want to achieve. We have added ideas and items to our product backlog that will help us to get there. We even conducted product backlog refinement and decomposed the tasks so they can be completed in one sprint. What next? Next, we need to decide which task to take on the upcoming sprint. Good question. To ensure everything is transparent and no one questions why a specific task was chosen for the next sprint, the product owner sets the sprint goal together with the team. This could be an implementation of a single but valuable feature for our clients that bring our product closer to its future state. For example, in this sprint, we will develop new wheels that will give the car an additional 20% speed. To achieve it, we look into our large product backlog and select only the tasks needed to reach the sprint goal. The list of tasks we want to complete in this sprint is called the sprint backlog. The event where the team defines the sprint goal and selects tasks for the sprint backlog is called sprint planning. After we complete the planning process, the team's daily work to create value begins. To maintain synchronization among all team members and address any obstacles, a daily Scrum event is held. These are short 15 minutes daily meetings where developers, sometimes with a product owner and Scrum Master, share updates of their progress toward the sprint goal and solve any, emergency problems. In other words, they conduct a short inspection and adaptation. Once all work is completed, we have the increment, which is what we develop during the sprint and what will deliver the value to our client. In our case, it's a new wheels that will give our car an additional 20% speed. It's important to note that Scrum places a strong emphasis on quality. Therefore, our increment is considered done only if it passes the quality checklist. In Scrum, this is called the definition of done. Each team develops its own standard for the quality checklist and ensures the increments meet its standards. The next step is to demonstrate the increment to the stakeholders and discuss how much closer the team is to the product goal after this iteration. This event is called Sprint Review. Can we go to the coffee now? Not yet. There is one more important event after the Sprint Review. Since not everything always goes smoothly during the sprint, it's essential to analyze what went well, what went wrong, and what can be improved. This is what the team does in the sprint retrospective. The outcome of this meeting might include tasks for the improvement or adaptation that team can take into, next sprint. Great, we've reached the end. Let's do a quick review of the process to make sure nothing is missed. The product managers define the product goal, the future state of the product they want to achieve. He creates a list of ideas that will help reach this goal and add them to the product backlog. If the tasks are too large, he conducts product backlog refinement to make them doable in one sprint. Together with the team, they hold sprint planning, where they determine the value they can deliver into the sprint goal, and create a sprint backlog, the list of tasks they will complete in this sprint. Development begins, and the team holds daily 15-minute meetings, daily Scrum, to synchronize and solve problems. When development is finished, the team has an increment that has passed the quality checklist, definition of done. The team shows this increment to stakeholders in the sprint review. The final step in the sprint is sprint retrospective, where the team analyzes what went well and what can be improved. Then, a new sprint begins. That's it. You've now been introduced to Scrum. But before we finish, I'd like to give a couple of examples of why this tool is so popular worldwide. First, Scrum helps teams respond quickly to changes and adapt new requirements. This is especially important in today's dynamic business environment. Second, Scrum increases transparency and improves communication within the team. Daily meeting and regular reviews help everyone stay informed and solve problems promptly. Third, Scrum promotes continuous improvement, and retrospectives allow them to learn and analyze their work, and they can find the way to become more efficient. Finally, Scrum boosts team engagement and motivation, as all members can participate in one process and see results at the end of the sprint. Just on time. Today we learned what Scrum is and its main principles, the composition of the Scrum team, the different artifacts and events in the Scrum, the advantages of this approach. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new useful content. And write in the comments whether you use Scrum in your work or not. That's all for now. See you in the next videos.